Hey everybody, it's Aldo Gandhi, and I just want to let you know really quickly that our swag shop is reopened. DeepDishTees.com is where you go, and that's tees with T-E-E-S. Clever name, guys. They're the new home of our merchandise. You can get t-shirts, you can get caps, you can get coffee mugs, you can get hoodies, you can get all sorts of good stuff, and you'll help out the bar room with the purchase. So head over to DeepDishTees.com.
Some may find the following disturbing. Discretion is advised.
Every summer in Chicago, the sunshine spotlights the city's spectacular skyline. Its luxurious lakeshore, marvelous monuments, and the over 200 neighborhoods in the city. And it also brings to light two of the greatest sports franchises in the world. On the north side, it's the Cubs. On the south side, it's the White Sox. This is Crosstown Crosstalk.
Hello and welcome to episode number 27 of Crosstown Crosstalk, presented by the Barroom Network. My name is Vinnie.
And I'm Joey.
And Joseph. That intro gets more and more depressing with each passing week.
I know. I'm already missing the warm climate or whatever it says, the hot summer. We're getting ready for that frigid cold winter is what we're getting ready for here in Chicago.
Yeah, I went out to the gym this morning and I hated every second of my life while I was outside. And it's not even like that cold yet.
Yeah, exactly. Am I clear on your end? Is everything clear? Because there's a little bit, for some reason, the picture, like I'm seeing it like a delay.
No, yeah, you're 100% clear. It's probably just you.
Right.
Yeah, seeing that intro and thinking of, what did we go to 30-something games this season? Like, just outrageous stuff. And yeah, it's over till late March, early April, and it'll still be cold, but at least it will be out there in the cold, knowing that like the warm is on its way.
Mm-hmm.
Where like now, like we got the whole winter ahead of us.
Yeah, and when it's cold, when you're cold in like April or even late March, it's a different kind of cold than when you're cold in like November. Like when you're cold in November, like you're just miserable, you're frigid, and for some reason your body's not used to it. But when it's going from cold to warm and it's like 40 degrees, it's like that 40 degrees you can go outside in shorts and a t-shirt. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like 40 degrees in March, it feels different than 40 degrees in November.
Oh, 40 in March, the windows are down.
Exactly.
The rock music is blasting out the windows. People aren't ready for me in April when it's 40.
Exactly my point.
And like, do you remember early this season, we went to that opening series? I want to say they were playing the Guardians. And we went on Friday night and it was frigid. Like jeans, long sleeve sweatshirts underneath the jerseys, winter hats, gloves. And then the next day was a Saturday day game. And it was like 70. And it just like felt like the greatest day ever.
Yeah. And then obviously those games in like July that we go to where we're sweating our balls off.
Yeah, those are always fun. I mean, we used to be like winter guys in terms of the weather. I don't know if it's just my body flipping over into like true adulthood, but I don't appreciate the cold as much as I once did. Like the winter fucking sucks ass.
No, I still love the winter. I'll always be a winter guy. But there's no doubt that like summer activities and like, you know, being outside and like, yeah, regardless if you sweat, but being able to, you know, stand outside in your swimsuit, no shirt on, that's always a good time. And for some reason, as I get older, it's not so much that I don't like the cold. It's just the way my body like my lips fucking hurt. I get dry skin. My hands bleed. Like that shit never used to happen.
It's already starting for me.
Yeah, that shit never used to happen when I was a kid. So, I mean, yeah, I guess as you get older, winter just becomes more of a pain in the ass. But I mean, there's ways to take care of that, which I'm ready for.
Yeah, absolutely. I've always said my favorite seasons go in order, starting in the fall. But the best days of summer are the best days of the year. I do stand by that. My least favorite month is in the summer because August is just like, I heard it referred to me as the Sunday of summer, and that's just the most accurate statement of all time. Like June and July are Friday and Saturday, and then August is just Sunday. And then once you start getting into September, it's like boom, Monday. This like horrible going forward.
I don't know. I like a good Sunday, so I don't know
I
if I
love a good Sunday. Sunday actually right now is probably my favorite day of the week.
see. For me, probably I don't know. Tuesday has just always had a sour taste in my. I just don't like Tuesdays.
Tuesdays do kind of suck. I've my whole life tried to figure out ways to make Mondays awesome.
I
Like I
like
remember,
Mondays.
well, yeah, I do too. I remember when we were in high school, I would be like, okay, tonight's Monday night football. You know, let's have something good to eat for lunch on Mondays. Like, just you do what you can to make Monday better. The rest of the week is smooth sailing. Um, but going to those games, I'm gonna miss it. Um, I can't wait for next season already. And like you said, I love the winter. We're hockey guys first and foremost, but there's nothing like going to the games in April, May, June when like you're not really worried about the pennant race yet. You're just really there to watch good baseball, and it's stress-free baseball for the most part.
Hmm. Yeah. Another thing about the winter that I love is hoodies. I have the ultimate hoodie collection. Honestly, like I was just saying the other day, like I can't get any more hoodies this winter, as I just bought another hoodie like last week. I
Spitting
can't get,
chicklets.
yeah, I can't get any more hoodies because I just literally don't have the physical space to keep all these hoodies.
Yeah, hoodies are awesome. I'm becoming a big pullover guy too. The
Yeah.
nuddies.
Yeah, I don't know. That hasn't hit me yet. I don't really like those. The only time I'll wear one of those is if it's an ugly Christmas sweater.
I'm a big there. This show is going to feature ugly Christmas sweaters. I actually have one that may or may not be on the way that I think people who know me will just find freaking hilarious. But look out for that. I'm I bought a pullover at the Bulls game last week, and yeah, I freaking love it. So I'm becoming a pullover guy. I was at NIU versus Ball State last night. It got chilly towards the end.
Well, yeah.
That wind
Opening feels
started
like
hitting
it.
in the third quarter. The first half I was fine. And then in the third quarter, the wind really started to hit, and I'm like, man, this is football weather now. Like the summer is gone. It is dead. And watching NIU, they played better once the wind started to pick up too. They ended up winning. I believe the final score was 30-29 NIU. Did you catch any of that game?
Mm-mm.
They were down all game by multiple scores. And
Didn't they win on a game-winning field
they
goal?
kicked a game-winning field goal with 3 seconds left to win 30-29. And the Ball State kicked a field goal to go ahead 29-27 with like a minute 30 left. And so Rocky Lombardi, NIU's quarterback, had to drive the team down the field and put them in field goal range in a minute 30, and he freaking did it. It was so cool.
Um,
And
I was I was streaming with Frankie, and he mentioned it because he obviously was rooting for NIU, and he was keeping track of that game, and he mentioned it. So that's how I knew that they won by that field goal.
if they would have missed the field goal, they would have lost 29-27, which is the exact same score the Chicago Bears lost on Monday. So I was like, please make the field goal, end my football misery. Because the only time I'm happy ever watching football is when it involves Tom Brady. Like, that's the only time my favorite teams come through for me. And so we'll see what happens. I do believe a trip to Detroit is in sights now because I think NIU is probably going to win their division and they're going to play in the MAC title game at Ford Field in Detroit. So look out for that. I'll probably end up going because I haven't missed a MAC title game, I don't think, since I started going to NIU games. So it's fun. Hopefully they can win the conference. That'd be fun. Baseball, though. The White Sox are in the news.
Yes, they are.
The White Sox are currently in the news for a variety of reasons, but I want to talk to you really quick. Scott Boras is the most hated agent, probably in all of sports. All his clients, he's got like 170 clients in Major League Baseball, and they're all like big, high rolling clients. All his guys are guys who are either drafted really high or they sign him to be their agent after they become superstars in the MLB. Well, that happened for Marcus Semien. And Marcus Semien is a former White Sox player who was traded for fucking Jeff Samardzija from the Oakland A's a couple years ago. Semien goes over to Oakland, turns into a superstar. Samara just sucks for the White Sox, but all things come full circle sometimes. Scott Boras is talking with Rick Hahn about Marcus Semien. And I have some stats about Marcus Semien for those naysayers who don't particularly like when Chicago teams bring back players that used to play for them, because it does seem to happen in every sport a lot. Hawks are always bringing back old Blackhawk players. The White Sox have done it time and time again.
Yeah, it depends on the team, honestly. Like some teams do it more than others.
Yes, and I think the Blackhawks and the White Sox are both like known for it. But Marcus Semien in 2021 slashed 265, 334, 538 for an 873 OPS. He hit 45 home runs, had 102 RBIs, 150 runs scored, and 15 stolen bases. That all accumulated to a 7.3 wins above replacement, which is like 2 behind Shohei Ohtani and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And he is with those two as an American League MVP finalist. And the White Sox are just like trying to get him. So hopefully that would come true because he plays shortstop naturally. But in 2021, with Bo Bichette playing shortstop for the Toronto Blue Jays, he moved over to second base. He was awesome there. He hit better than he ever had while playing second base. And we all know about TA7 playing shortstop for the White Sox. Third base is occupied by Yohan Moncada. He'd be the perfect second baseman for the White Sox.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know his numbers were that good. That's something that could help this White Sox team big time. While you were talking about all that, though, I did look up some notable clients that Scott Boras is the agent for. I'll just say a few names that stick out.
Can I say two that I think
Yeah.
you're going to say? Are you going to mention Carlos Rodon?
No.
You didn't mention Carl. Okay, well, Carlos Rodon is one of his big free agents this offseason, and of course, Chris Bryant.
I actually don't see Rodon's name.
Well, Rodon and Bryant are
I see
Boris
Bryant.
guys, and I'm wondering
Yeah.
if you're gonna talk
Oh,
about Bryce Harper.
there's a few that I'm sure you didn't even know. Jose Altuve, Xander Bogaerts, Jackie Bradley Jr. is kind of cool. Garrett Cole, Joey Gallo, Bryce Harper, Dallas Keuchel, JD Martinez, there's Carlos Rodon, Max Scherzer, Corey Seager, Blake Snell, Juan Soto. There's some cool names. I mean, there's a lot more. I was just going with some big names that stick out to me and
And
players I like.
you just named a bunch of guys who are either paid already or about to get paid. Like Jose Altuve paid, Dallas Keuchel paid twice. Bryce
JD
Harper
Martinez.
signed the second richest contract in MLB history. Garrett Cole signed the richest contract in MLB history for a pitcher. Like, Scott Boris's guys get their money. So it's going to be interesting to see if our old Uncle Jerry will shell out the money for Rick Hahn to sign Marcus Semien. But I just read you the numbers. And if you add that to a lineup with Eloy, with Robert, with Abreu, with Moncada, Grandal, I mean, TA, it's if Gavin Sheets or Andrew Vaughn really turn into stars, I think Andrew Vaughn will for sure. Like, that would be a lineup that is just unstoppable, I think.
It's a super lineup.
He was part of a super lineup last year.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like Bo Bichette, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., George Springer, Kevin Biggio. Those guys were awesome in Toronto. And if Semien brought those 102 RBIs, 45 bombs, the 873 OPS is where it's at for me. I don't give a crap about 265 batting average. That sounds like slightly above average. Don't care about batting average. Batting average is a terrible stat. That's why guys hitting 260 or 240 like Ohtani and Semien are nominated for MVP, because nobody in their right mind that has access to like real statistics even slightly considers that anymore. The 7.3 WAR. If you had 7 wins to the White Sox, I mean, we're talking about a 100-win team. So
Exactly. Exactly. And then that's also filling a position that you necessarily didn't have that great of a guy all year long. Like Cesar started off great. Lurie did his job, but to get a guy like Semien over at second base, that's an upgrade over anyone who was playing second this year.
Yeah, and you might notice on our notes I have something, the second to last bullet point for the White Sox, the Sox players nominated for all MLB team. You just created a good segue to talk about that right now, actually. Second base is one of those positions of the White Sox need. And it's just proof when you look at the nominees for their all MLB team nominees for this season. You could go on and vote. White Sox fans, go do it. We'll get to the Cubs players that are part of that as well in a bit here. Jose Abreu, first base. Okay. Tim Anderson, shortstop. Okay. Yohan Moncada, third base. Yasmani Grandal, catcher. Not a single outfielder. Let me finish the list. Carlos Rodon, starting pitcher. Dylan Cease, starting pitcher. Lance Lynn, starting pitcher. Liam Hendricks and Craig Kimbrell as relief pitchers. So you don't have a single outfielder and you don't have second base. Well, let's go over why. The outfield. Jimenez and Robert didn't play enough to be considered on the All-MLB team. Otherwise, I guarantee both of them would be at minimum nominated for outfielder All-MLB team, especially Robert. I'm surprised Giolito was left off. I think he did technically have a better year than Dylan Cease. And he pitched, he was more reliable than Carlos Rodon. So Lucas Giolito, bit of a snub on this list, actually complete snub on this list. I wouldn't be surprised if he finishes in higher Cy Young voting than Rodon and Cease, but I digress. The only position on the infield that's missing is second base. They don't have an all-star second baseman. They traded a future really good second baseman to the Cubs for Kimbrell, and they traded for Cesar Hernandez, who they didn't extend a qualifying offer to. So you got to go out and get a second baseman. You give all that money to Marcus Semien and Scott Boras. I think it works out for you in the end.
I agree. I could not agree more. Cesar's for sure gone. Not picking up that. Is that what that means?
Yes. So we'll get to that in a second. If you add Semien to this group and you probably bat him second. I think Robert's probably batting third going forward. You make Abreu bat fourth, Grandal fifth. And if you have like Eloy Jimenez batting sixth and Yohan Moncada seventh, like that's as good of a lineup as the White Sox have ever had.
Mm-hmm.
And I would pay him. I mean, I think they'd be stupid not to at least try. This team's loaded. They have a chance to win the World Series if they keep this up. And I think that will put them over the edge in terms of Chicago sports, like, importance. So,
yeah,
right or wrong for that bad trade and sign them.
And you look at the lineup, and that's pretty much, I would say that's like one of their only needs because you have so many young guys, and especially like even Lurie, who can, cycle out over in right field, who can all hit the ball. Gavin Sheets, Andrew Vaughn, depending on who ends up DHing. Like you have plenty of young guys in your system already. Just one more second base guy that can be reliable in your lineup. Like that could go a long way for this team.
Couldn't agree more. He just fits in so perfectly. It's very rare that a free agent like that used to play for your team, plays a position of need that you have when you're like a legit World Series contender.
When was he with the White Sox?
They traded him to the A's, I want to say before the 2016 season. Do you remember when Samardzija played for the White Sox?
Yes.
Yeah, they traded Semien to it's actually the trade tree is pretty funny. Cubs traded Samardzija to the A's for Addison Russell, who famously was their second baseman split second baseman with Ben Zobrist when they won the World Series in 2016. Then the A's turned around and flipped him back to the White Sox a year later for Marcus Semien, and he turned into a fucking superstar when he got to the A's. I mean, it's not quite the level of Fernando Tatis Jr., but two players the White Sox traded away. We're going to get to this later. Two players the White Sox traded away in that time span are nominated for MVP. I mean, within months of each other, they got Samardzija and Shields for Tatis Jr. and Semien. Samardzija and Shields fucking suck. Well, they sucked with the White Sox. They had okay careers early on. But, I mean, we'll get to that disgusting nature in a little bit. But the White Sox offer Semien comfort. He's familiar. There's a spot open at a position of need, and he will get paid. And they're really good. So everything that a free agent wants is money, playing time, and chance to win, right? When you say those are like the big three, if you were a free agent, you'd want money, winning, spot on the playing time.
Yeah, there's got to be a spot. You don't want to have to fight for a spot, and there is a clear, wide open second base spot on this team.
Yeah, I mean, there's a spot for Marcus Semien on every team in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
And I believe he's got a gold glove in his career too. And speaking of gold gloves, the White Sox have a gold glove winner. And it's not from somebody that really had a good year.
He
And
had a terrible year. You can say.
Robert probably would have won the gold glove had he played the whole year. I was shocked Abreu wasn't even a nominee.
And Semyon does have a gold glove. He's a one-time All-Star.
There you go. And I believe the one time is this year. Or it might have been 2019. I don't remember. 2019 and 2021 were his best seasons. Dallas Keuchel is your 2021 American League Gold Glove winner for pitchers. He did not have a good year actually pitching the ball, but he had a 12 defensive runs saved. The next closest pitcher had 6. So literally double the next he was twice as good as the next best defensive pitcher. And it's not the Cy Young. Pitching doesn't get taken into consideration in any way, shape, or form for the Gold Glove. Dallas
Clearly.
Keuchel absolutely deserves to win this award.
Yeah. Clearly the pitching doesn't get taken in because he would not be winning this award even if he had double the defensive whatever you said.
Defensive runs saved.
Yeah. He had double. If they take pitching into consideration, he ain't winning it because he was terrible pitching.
And if you go look on my Southside Showdown Facebook page and look at the comments of the article I wrote about him winning it,
Oh, it's probably hate.
It's just clearly people who don't understand the award. Yeah. It's, how he doesn't deserve this. He had a terrible year. It's like, do your research before you make these stupid ass comments. Like, know baseball if you're going to talk baseball.
Yeah.
So, Dallas Keuchel, good on you. A player that actually did get nominated for the Cy Young does play for the Chicago White Sox, and that's Lance Lynn. And I'm so happy to see Lance get the nod. I was wondering if he didn't reach 162 innings, I don't believe. And he still got the nod for the Cy Young. He's nominated along with Garrett Cole and Robbie Ray. I think Lynn is going to come in second, maybe third. But to see him just get recognized at all is very, very cool. I'm happy for Lance. I know you're a Lance guy.
I'm a big Lance guy, and I'm very happy for him, get this recognition. He had a great year. We saw him start in the All-Star game, so that was pretty cool. And he started a lot of big games.
Pitched in the All-Star game. He didn't start.
Who started?
Ohtani.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he started and let off. That was the first thing.
Yeah.
He did pitch. He started the Field of Dreams game, started some big playoff games. So, I mean, yeah, it's good for that recognition for him.
Another person I saw commented on my article about Lance Lynn being nominated for the Cy Young. Clearly, they didn't watch the playoffs. Lance Lynn got destroyed in the playoffs by Houston. It's a regular season award. You don't got to be freaking mad about everything, people.
Really? That's like people getting mad for someone who won like playoff MVP if they had a terrible regular season.
Yeah, which
it's literally like the same
happen all the time.
Yeah.
Didn't Patrick Kane have a down year regular season when he won the Conn Smythe Trophy?
Yeah, or it's like if people would have been
maybe I'm thinking of something else. There was a player that had it might have been Bickle. Bickle didn't win the Conn Smythe, but he was in contention for it.
Yeah.
And he had like a terrible regular season, and then in the playoffs he just becomes Mario Lemieux.
Yeah, or you could even look at like this World Series. Like if Jorge Soler, World Series MVP, he didn't have the best regular season.
He had a negative WAR.
Exactly. So that's the getting mad at Lance Lynn being nominated for the Cy Young is literally like bringing up its identical argument. If you were to say, well, did you see Soler in the regular season? He shouldn't be at World Series MVP. It's the same exact argument.
Exactly. Lance Lynn was sensational this season. And I just hope he doesn't have to face Houston in the playoffs ever again, because that team has his number regular season or playoffs. He might win the Cy Young if he didn't have to face Houston twice this season. But I think Robbie Ray is going to win it, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. AL reliever of the year, AL Mariano Rivera reliever of the year, goes to your guy, my guy, everybody's guy, Liam Hendricks.
I will be the first one to admit when they acquired Craig Kimbrell, I wanted Craig to be the closer. like that ninth inning guy you go to, and I'll be the first one to admit I was wrong. Liam, he was sick from the moment. He pretty much started this season. He started a little rough, if I can remember correctly.
Couple solo shots early in the season allowed the
Very,
other team to
very early,
drive.
but man, once he
He had
figured it
April
out,
arm. He had April
yeah.
arm, probably as worse as he ever had it in his career.
But once he figured it out and it came pretty quickly, he was, on pace. He was the guy to go to, and then they acquired Craig Kimbrell, and honestly, I think that screwed a lot of things up.
Yeah, and we'll talk about Craig in a minute, but Liam Hendricks, he didn't give up a single run in September. And I know
Yeah.
he gave up that bomb to Altuve like late in game 4 when they were already getting killed. But like he doesn't give up that bomb if it's a high leverage save situation in game 4 to like force like I believe that truly.
Just out of curiosity, do you know who the NL reliever of the year was?
Josh Hader of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah. I wonder if it would have been Craig had he not been traded, because he was awesome.
He's awesome as a closer.
Yeah.
His ERA in the 9th inning this season is like a tick over 1. But his ERA with the White Sox was in the 5s. His ERA with the Cubs was below 1. So Craig Kimbrell has a history though of not performing well with brand new teams right away.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, even when he first started with the Cubs, coming from Boston, he signed kind of like halfway through that year, so that was a little tough. But it took a while for him to even get to where he was at with the Cubs and even in Boston. So
Yeah, no doubt about it. Hopefully next year, if they keep him, because we have written down here that Craig Kimbrell's team option was picked up, and they declined Cesar Hernandez, and they did not extend a qualifying offer to Carlos Rodon. So Rodon and Hernandez are probably gone. Kimbrell, they're saying he's back, but they're probably going to trade him, or they might not trade him. I would not trade him. I'm going to
I
make that
wouldn't either.
very clear.
I wouldn't either. Let him start the year, and then if it does go completely south, you got an asset to hopefully move at the deadline. A team who could use a solid closer.
Yeah, but like a team isn't going to overpay for Craig now or then. But like, why not just try?
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if you just like cut him or bench him in July, like what the hell's the difference between that and getting like a number 30 prospect for him right now?
Yeah. No, I agree
I
completely.
I
Especially
just
because
don't
like
see the point.
it's a low risk, high reward kind of thing. Like, what if it works out and he's just fucking awesome?
Yeah, you're not getting Madrigal or Hoyer back no matter what. So you might as well try and keep him. I would use him as you could have dual closers. I've heard Liam say 1,000 times that he would be okay with that. And he's just one of the nicest people. I believe I shared the video on Southside Showdown's Twitter at Sox Showdown. You can go on there and watch the interview that he gave after winning the Cy Young. He talks about Craig Kimbrell. He talks about how he hopes he's back next year. And I hope he's back next year too. And, we'll see what Boris gets for Rodon, was not able to finish the season. But it's tough to see Rodon go after the one good, the Sox stayed loyal to him for a long time. They brought him back this year. They gave him an opportunity to start. He ended up being better than everyone. And now he's going to go make bank. He deserves to make bank. He's a great pitcher, but it'd be nice to see him with the White Sox. I would have at least extended him a qualifying offer. That way, if he declined, the team that signed him would have given the White Sox a compensatory pick, or however you say it. But it is what it is.
Yeah, as good as Rodon was, I actually really like it. I like this move because it opens up a spot for Michael Kopech to be a starter in this rotation, something that I really want to see in his career sooner rather than later. And with the late season, health concerns of Rodon, it kind of takes that out of my head. Like, okay, I don't have to worry about, is Rodon even going to be healthy because he's gone. Let that be another team's worry. So as great as he was, it was fun to watch this season, especially some of those big games. Especially the no hitter sticks out. But even like leading up to that Field of Dreams game, he just wasn't ready to go. We saw he wasn't ready to start the playoffs. his arm, he clearly wasn't 100%, I don't believe, coming into the playoffs. So the health of him is just none of our worry anymore. So
Michael Kopech is confirmed to make the transition to a starting role per Rick Hahn this offseason.
exactly. So that doesn't happen if Rodon stays.
Maybe. We'll see what happens with Dallas Keuchel. I know he has one more year left on his deal, but maybe a team will trade trash contract for trash contract, like Charlie Blackmon or something, I think would help the White Sox. Tony La Russa, and you can lump your boy Alex Cora in there, were both snubbed from the Manager of the Year nominations. The nominees for, we'll get to them later. I just want your thoughts on La Russa and Cora, your two coaches, being snubbed this season.
I mean, maybe there's a little bias here. I think Cora got snubbed a little more than La Russa. I agree with kind of like what we talked about with Jesse Rogers last week. Uh, he was brought into a great situation. I don't think though. I think the White Sox would have done just as good. I truthfully believe it if if La Russa wasn't there. I don't necessarily am going to say the same thing about the Red Sox. They were terrible last year. They bring back Alex Cora, and he makes a huge difference with relatively the same lineup, maybe even a worse lineup on paper. But guys played for him. He manages that team well. He brought the Red Sox into the playoffs. I think the White Sox were making the playoffs this year and winning their division in is just as dominant fashion with or without La Russa. So I don't know if he necessarily got snubbed, but Alex Cora for sure, yes.
Okay. I have a person I would take out in favor of Cora, but we'll talk about that when we get to the all MLB portion of the show. It's a big offseason for the White Sox. Their window's wide open, as we know in baseball, based on the next team we're about to talk about. Windows don't stay open for very long. What the Dodgers are doing is very incredible that they've been able to win, I almost said win the division. They technically didn't win the division this year. To be that good for that long is very rare. Like even the Yankees went through a spell where they sucked. They're over 500 every year. I think they're on like a 30-year streak of being over 500, which is marvelous. But like 82 and 80 doesn't mean you're great. Like they had a couple years like that. Like to be in the playoffs every year is very hard. And so the White Sox have to see Yohan Moncada's youth, Eloy Jimenez's youth, all these guys who are in their mid-20s right now that can help them win right now and go for the damn thing. Go get Marcus Semien. Try to sign Robbie Ray. If you could add an MVP candidate and a Cy Young candidate in the same offseason, you're sitting pretty.
Yeah, and that also takes a lot of pressure off these young guys. You just mentioned the youth of some of these guys, like I don't look at Eloy or maybe necessarily even like Tim or Yohan, and I don't look at them and think like, oh, they're the veterans of this team. And they're not there yet. They're amazing players, but like, if you can go and get some established veterans who have the playoff experience, that could take a lot of pressure off those young guys who aren't the veterans yet.
The veterans to me, Abreu, Grandal, Lynn. I would start to Tim Anderson is a veteran captain leader.
Yeah.
Lucas Giolito is starting to become that guy. He's always doing the interviews. He's always out there talking.
Did you mention Grandal?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Grandal's newer to the organization, but deep postseason experience more than once, World Series appearance. Like Yasmani Grandal's been there, done that, and he plays the captain
obviously
position.
Lurie's a veteran in that clubhouse.
Yeah, he might be gone though. His contract is up.
It is up?
Yeah. So we'll see if they bring him back. They might as like a bench player.
Yeah, I think he's a good bench player to have. He's been with this team he's the longest tenured player, no?
Yes, he is the team's longest tenured player.
So I mean, I say keep him around. They obviously like having that guy in the room.
Absolutely. Do you like the Chicago Cubs?
It's fun to go watch them play, yeah.
You're a clown.
What kind of answer are you looking for with that?
I was kind of hoping you'd be like, no, and I'd be like, me neither. But we got to talk about him anyway.
I don't hate the Cubs as much as you. How much clearer can I make myself?
I mean, no one does. No one does.
What, hate them as much as you?
Yeah. But like, if they're your 29th favorite team, you still
I
love.
I don't know if I would call them my 29th favorite team.
Oh yeah, who is?
Well, clearly the Yankees are my last
I know. If the
fucking.
Yankees played the Cubs in the World Series,
Oh, Cubby Blue. I'll be bleeding blue. What's their? Do they have a saying? I bleed blue. Is it?
do they still say that's Cub or Cub together?
Yeah, it's a little
Their
whack.
slogans
Yeah.
always suck ass.
I'll be Cubby Blue if that happens.
Yeah, I think that would be the most mad I could possibly get at you. You're my brother. I don't get mad at you. Even when I fake get mad at you, I'm never literally. I don't think I've ever been mad at you. I would be fucking mad at you. Like
I
legit.
want to hate the Jays so much.
Why?
But I
You
can't.
hate Toronto.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. You're right. I'm not gonna argue that because like I see the TOR when looking at the teams, and I don't like it. But then I think of that lineup. I think they got my guy Ryu. I love Boba Fett, obviously Vlad Guerrero. Like I want to hate that team, but then I look at the group and I love him. So
That's why I don't get like why that doesn't apply to the Leafs.
because I hate the Leafs.
But the Leafs have fun like players
I
like
hate
that
the
too.
Leafs so much that they're making me want to hate the Blue Jays.
Well, not a lot of people realize that like there's a maple leaf in the Blue Jays logo.
Yeah,
The
that's
red
clear.
part is a maple leaf.
That's clear as day.
Yeah,
What
I
do you mean
mean,
not a lot of people notice that?
okay, go ask most of your friends. Describe the Toronto Blue Jays logo to me. See how many of them use the word maple leaf.
Are you kidding me? It is like if you don't know that there's a maple leaf in this logo,
I mean, it they kind of just went back to the one they're using like within the last 5 to 6 years,
I
no?
want to know. We're obviously not thinking of the same logo because everyone and their mom knows that.
Are you getting ready to pull it up?
Come on,
I guess, yeah. It's
you're not
clear.
gonna tell me no one looks at that and be like, "That's there's a maple leaf in the logo."
Okay. It just seems like one of those things that might go over people's heads.
Dude, what about that would go over anyone's head? They need to go back to this logo. I have a hat with this
No
logo.
way.
This
No way.
this is one of the coolest logos in baseball.
No shot.
Yeah.
They're one all the way to the left, top left of that current screen is the coolest logo the Jays have
Mm,
ever had.
I
I love that logo.
No, this logo right here is the coolest logo.
I don't know. I like the Blue Jays. They're a fun team.
Didn't they just go by the Jays when they had this logo?
I think they just call themselves the Jays, but that was never their official name. No,
Interesting.
the Jays, the Rays, and the A's all competing for wild card teams each and every year.
You know who I really don't like? And this is there is no reason. I just have always thought they were a boring team. You know,
I think I know who you're gonna say.
it's not the Orioles.
Were they a boring team like for a long time, but now they're not, and you
No,
still hate them?
they're pretty boring now.
Oh, so it's not the Padres?
No, no. I used to hate the Padres, but now with the I didn't like the whole brown when they switched to the brown in gold. I liked them better when they were navy and white or silver.
Ew.
I know, but the brown and gold grew on me is what I'm saying. And the whole Fernando Tatis, like that team did grow on me. It's still
Yeah,
my
they're
least
fun.
favorite. Still my least favorite NL West team, but I digress.
You like them less than the Diamondbacks and Rockies?
Oh, 100%. I like the Rockies, and I've always been a Diamondbacks guy. I bought a Diamondbacks hat to start this MLB season, and it didn't fit me, so I had to return it.
Why didn't you get a new one?
I just got my money back. I don't because I didn't want to run the risk of it not fitting me. I literally got
I
my
want
thought.
you I want you to have a hat for every team in the NL West by the time next season starts.
I
And
actually,
you have
I
huh?
actually was gonna go buy a Giants hat if they beat the Dodgers. I don't have a Giants hat, and I really like the Giants. I really like the Dodgers. So, but they didn't.
I only have a Giants and Dodgers hat from that division.
No, you
Are
have
we
the
going to
Diamondbacks.
talk about the NL West that much next season as we did this season?
Probably more because the Padres probably will be a little better.
Well, they're going to get Clevenger back. A lot of people don't even realize he plays for them.
Mm-hmm.
I think, yeah, they're going to have a bounce back year. I don't see you, Darvish, or Snell being as mediocre to bad as they were this year. So, yeah, I
I
agree
was
with you.
going to say
I
Snell's going
actually
to be
think they're
better.
going to be worlds better than the Giants.
No way.
Oh, yeah. The
Not
Giants are
worlds
going to take
better.
a big step back.
Not
They're all
worlds better.
old. They're all old.
You can argue that the Dodgers are going to be. They could be better, and it's pretty impossible to be better than 106.
Yeah, no way they're better. They're going to lose Scherzer. They might lose Turner. They could lose both Turners.
Will they
That
though?
Seager is gone. Like they're going to take a Kershaw is like always injured. They're going to go from Kershaw, Bueller, Bauer, Scherzer to like Bueller. Urias could be their number 2 next season. But they could go out there and sign Robbie Ray too. So
I
you never
saw
know what
you
offseason moves they
real
make.
quick before I forget to ever mention it. This team was just always boring for me growing up watching baseball. We used to collect the little baseball helmets, you know. I This team was always just boring, and that's the Texas Rangers. Just think this is the boringest team. Everything about them.
And
Jerseys.
you like them less than the Cubs?
No, I probably would still root for them over the Cubs, but I'm just trying to find something to say as my 29th favorite team. But maybe you're right. Maybe it is the Cubs.
You got nothing, kid.
Because I want to say the Astros, but when the
You
Astros
like
are
the Astros.
when the Astros are doing their thing in the regular season, just winning baseball games and
Cheating,
cheating, it's just
being
entertainment.
heels.
The Kansas City Royals have always annoyed me. Just they're boring. They're the wannabe Dodgers. I just look at them and I feel like they want to be the Dodgers with their blue fucking get up.
That is just a wild take. Your 29th favorite team, my favorite team, the Chicago Cubs, claimed Wade Miley from the Cincinnati Reds. Wade Miley had an outstanding season with the Reds, and they were just like, yeah, we don't want to pay this guy. We know we're using Castellanos. We know we're going to suck probably. We're probably going to come in 4th place. The Pirates won't be better than us, but they might come in 3rd place. I don't know if the Cubs are going to be better than them, but the Dodgers or the Brewers and Cardinals certainly are going to be. And now
And
the Cubs just picked them up because what did they have? Like the 3rd priority or the 5th or 6th priority? Like the bottom teams who are trying to bottom out passed on him. And the Cubs were like, we'll take Wade Miley. He'll probably be our ace. Him and Kyle Hendricks might be like a 1-2 duo. That's a good pickup for the Cubs.
do you think Kyle Hendricks is going to be as good as he was last year?
He sucked last year. So yes.
He started off good.
He will be better next year. Bounce back season inbound for one Kyle Hendricks.
I'm trying to pull up Wade Miley's stats here. It's loading. I don't know what the hell's going on. Do you have him at hand?
Say for who?
Or Wade Miley.
No, but I could pull him up.
Oh, I got him. Finally loaded. In the 2020, why is it showing me the average? I don't have the stats.
Huh?
It's not showing me. I'm trying to do it. I'm on Yahoo for some reason, and it's just not showing me his season.
Talk
stats.
about why Wade Miley and Kyle Hendricks might make a good duo.
If Kyle Hendricks is better than he was toward the end of last year, I think Kyle Hendricks he started off great. No? Or am I just remembering falsely?
I had him on my fantasy team. He kind of sucked. One of my biggest fantasy disappointments this season was Kyle Hendricks, who I drafted rather high.
Mine was Zach Davies.
But we won't rotation.
We won't even talk about Zach Davies. Yeah, that definitely could be a 1-2 punch, especially if my guy who I really like, Adbert Alzolay, continues to improve the way he has been. It's definitely better than what they had last year. So yeah.
In 2021, Wade Miley on a bad Cincinnati Reds team went 12-7 with a 3.37 ERA and a 6.0 wins above replacement. 6.0. That's like Cy Young stuff. He's probably going to finish top 10 for Cy Young. And the Cubs were just like, yeah, we'll take him on waivers, pay him $10 million. He's going to be their best pitcher next season.
Yeah, I finally got my shit to load.
He won't start opening day because they'll let Kyle Hendricks do that.
Mhm.
But he will be their number 2 starter in the rotation and their best starter out of everyone.
Yeah, he only had a 1.33 whip.
That's so good.
3.337 ERA. 3.37, not 3.37. 3.37 ERA, and he had one of the many no-hitters that we saw this year.
Yep.
So
He absolutely threw a no-hitter this year. You are correct.
And he had a complete game no-hitter, not none of this combined no-hitter shit.
Yeah. Like Zach Davies was a part of.
Yes, and Craig Kimbrell and
two of the four that combined for the Cubs two of the 4 pitchers that combined for the Cubs no-hitter ended the season with the White Sox. Ryan Tepera and Craig Kimbrell. And Andrew Chafin was traded to the A's. So 3 of the 4 pitchers were traded in general.
And Zach Davies was just dog meat
for the entire year for the Cubs.
Yeah,
that was tough to watch. The Cubs were actually so bad this year that they only had 1 player nominated for the MLB. What did I call it? The All MLB team?
All MLB team.
And I'm obviously joking. Being a good or bad team has nothing to do with it. I was honestly a little surprised that Schwindel and Wisdom weren't at least even nominated at the position. Schwindel, I kind of get because there are so many good first basemen in the National League, but to not even give Patrick Wisdom an outfield nod, it was a little surprising to me.
Yeah, and so this All MLB team, is that just something like fans vote on in the offseason? It's literally just for fun. It's not like a real award or anything.
Yeah, basically. The Cubs' only guy who you can vote for is Wilson Contreras. Not too much of a surprise. He is one of the premier catchers in Major League Baseball.
Yeah. Trying to think some National League catchers. He could very well win this thing.
JT Real Muto is probably, I think Wilson Contreras is the 3rd best catcher in baseball. And one of the other 2 also plays in Chicago, which is kind of weird. When was the last time the Cubs and the White Sox each had a player who was top 3 at their position? Maybe.
Top 3 at
first base, like 2 years ago.
I was just gonna say Abreu and
Abreu and Rizzo.
So.
Bryant stopped playing third base by the time Moncada was really, really good. Baez fell off a cliff before Anderson rose to power. And when Baez was at the height of his powers, Anderson was still committing $1 billion a season.
Didn't they have John Lester at the same time the White Sox had Chris Sale? John Lester, I know he was like...
Oh, that's really good, actually. No, Jake Arrieta.
Jake Arrieta was...
When Jake Arrieta was winning Cy Youngs, Chris Sale was striking out 300 a season.
Yeah.
Has a pitcher struck out 300 a season since Chris Sale? Like White Sox Chris Sale? White Sox people have no idea what the era that was wasted with Chris Sale. Chris Sale is the most talented pitcher the White Sox have ever had. And they were just like, yeah, we're going to win 75 games. That's the answer. That to me is the answer. Because Abreu and Rizzo were both always really good. I don't know if they were ever both top 3 first basemen at the same time. There was a stretch where Rizzo was better. Now Abreu's better. Like, I don't think they were ever both top 3 when you got guys like Goldschmidt, leading the way probably for the last 10 years. Matt Olson is in consideration. But I think the last time the Cubs and the White Sox each had a top 3 player at their position was definitely Chris Sale and Jake Arrieta. And they were probably 2 and 3 because Kershaw was the best in the league at that time.
Yeah, the last time there was a 300 pitch strikeout season, or 300 strikeout season in the MLB was 2019. Garrett Cole had 326 with the Astros.
Wow. I didn't realize he threw that many that season.
But then before that, it was Chris Sale.
Didn't Chris Sale do it twice with the White Sox? I want to say he did it twice with the White Sox.
Oh, no, that's 290. Damn, Verlander with the Astros had 290, just 10 shy.
They were both nominated. That's the year they were both nominated for Cy Young. But the year before that, Justin Verlander didn't win the Cy Young. And Kate Upton tweeted something like, I thought I was the only one who's allowed to F word, Justin Verlander. And then the year after, she kept her mouth shut because she didn't want to say it when it was one of his teammates.
No, the before that Garrett Cole, it was Chris Sale in 2017
Okay.
with the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah. Then remember the year we went and they Chris Sale started 9-0 and he threw like
He
a 12 strikeout game.
he never had 300 strikeouts with the White Sox. But
Then
yes,
did
I
he get
remember.
like in the high 200s?
Maybe Kershaw in 2015 with the Dodgers, and Max Scherzer had exactly 300 in 2018.
Wow. I remember Chris Sale, his last year with the White Sox, I want to say. It was either his last year with the White Sox or second to last year. He broke the franchise record for strikeouts in a season by a lefty, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah. You're thinking of 2015. Chris Sale had 274 strikeouts.
That might be the year where he broke the team's record for, man, it feels like yesterday that Sale was on the White Sox. It's been a long time.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta let Chris Sale go. I still think about those days, right? Remember when I used to make the Snapchats? Sale. My Snapchat friends probably still hate me for that. It's been fucking 5 years since he's been traded.
I just sent you a picture of my K for sale sign.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I still have mine too.
Yeah, it's actually like right in this closet.
You know what's funny? We sat in that section like 5 times this year. I'm pretty sure that's Joe Mandel's section.
I thought it was up top a little more. It was the top upper.
The K for sale sign was 100. I want to say it was 154 or 155.
We never sat there. We just went and grabbed signs. Remember?
Yeah, we never sat in the K for. It's a good section view wise though, so it's a little surprising. I honestly think they have it there because it's like by the bullpen. But yeah, Wilson Contreras, all MLB team nomination. The Cubs are in on a big free agent shortstop. They're going to sign one of these guys. I don't think they're going to be very good next year, but I think they're going to be pretty good the year after. Talking about the Cubs. 2022 is going to be one of those years where you start to see improvement from certain people. I do believe, remember when the Padres signed Fernando Tatis Jr., or not Fernando Tatis Jr., when they signed Manny Machado a year before they were ready to compete? I think the Cubs are about to do that with one of the big free agent shortstops. They're going to tell one of the big free agent shortstops, okay, we're going to give you $200 million. We're going to suck next year. You go get your 300 batting average. You hit your 30 home runs, 90 to 100 RBIs. You do that. We're going to win 80 games or maybe less. But the year after, we'll be back.
Do you really think that they'll be able to get back to that in 2 years?
If they sign one of these big free agent shortstops, yes. I do.
That would be a quick turnaround, I'll admit it.
I think they have the assets, the money, and the brand to get this thing done in 3 years. One's already over. So you might suck next year. You might suck the year after that. By 2024, they're good again. I do believe that. Now we just got to hope. The Cubs kind of screwed us out of both teams being in first place at the same time for more than 1 year. Now it's up to the White Sox to not do that again.
To not fall off?
Yes. If this city wants 2 good teams again, the White Sox need to maintain it.
Which, if it falls off that quickly, I would say if the White Sox, fall off within the next 4 years, I would say that fell off way quicker than it should have.
Yes. Well, like the Cubs.
Yeah.
Yeah. This city would be biblical if both teams were like legitimate World Series contenders.
You just go to a crosstown game and it's insane. Imagine a 7-game World Series.
I don't even want to think about it. I don't want to think about it. I do believe they will sign one of these big free agent shortstops. I think it will be one of either Seager or Correa. I don't see Baez returning. I don't see Semien going there.
Do you see the offer that the Astros made Correa?
Well, it was the qualifying offer.
Yeah.
That's like a preset number based on the collective bargaining agreement. Yeah. Of course he turned it down.
Well, yeah.
What were you going to say about a Correa going to the Cubs?
That would be hilarious.
Why?
Because people already hate him. And so, seeing Sox fans, have reason to hate him would just be hilarious.
Would he be my favorite player in all of it, or at least favorite player in all of baseball?
Yeah. Who
I
else?
kind of want it to happen.
Who else would it be?
My least favorite player in baseball right now? Ooh,
Mine was Manny Machado.
I love Manny Machado.
Mine was Manny Machado before he played on the Dodgers. That made me like him.
My least favorite player in baseball is Josh Donaldson.
Oh, that's
I hate that motherfucker.
that guy's a
I
prick.
would have him on this show right now, and I would let him know how I feel. I'd be respectful, but I'll be like, dude, you're a asshole. Do you see what he was tweeting the other night?
No.
Ripping on the Bears. Chicago, the city of Chicago has a mansion the size of Justin Bieber's house in this dude's head. He just hates everything about Chicago, and I hate him. And I'd love to have him on and tell him that.
Credit to him.
I also
for
don't like Wilson Contreras. But I dislike Wilson Contreras for a different reason than I dislike Josh Donaldson. Josh Donaldson is just a straight up asshole. I would hate him if he wasn't a baseball player. If he was at the bar, I wouldn't want to sit next to him. Wilson Contreras is one of those guys that you hate because you respect him so much. He's obsessed with winning. He will step on anyone's throat in order to win, and he'll defend his teammates right, wrong, or indifferent. And so when he's one of those guys where when he's on your team, you love him.
I know
When he's on a team you hate him. So Wilson Contreras, me saying that I hate him is the ultimate compliment. The way I hate Josh Donaldson is not a compliment. I literally don't like him as a human being. I think he's a douche. But Wilson Contreras is not a douche. He's probably fun to hang around. I loved seeing him go to the World Series and wear his brother's Braves jersey because his brother plays for the Braves. Like, this dude just loves winning. He loves his teammates. He loves his family. So when I say I hate him, I don't mean it in a malicious way. I mean it in a baseball way. And that has applied to every Cub I've ever hated. The only Cub I actually hated was Michael Barrett.
It's similar to the way I
ever actually hated his guts.
It's similar to the way I say I hate Mike Stanton.
Yes, you don't hate him though. You kind of like Mike Stanton now.
No, I can't stand him.
How could you hate your dad?
I can't stand Mike Stanton.
Who do you hate more, him or Austin Matthews?
Comes up to bat with his angry eyebrows every time, and then he just hits one over Pluto. Or strikes out. Dude will go 1 for 5 with a home run in my brain. And
Mike Stanton is proof that batting average is an asshole stat, though. I will say that.
Yeah, I'd still rather have a guy get 3 doubles.
As opposed to 2 home runs?
Opposed to 1 home run?
That's not how it works. Yeah, you probably would rather the guy who has 3 doubles as opposed to 1 home run. But that improves his OPS just the same. That's why OPS is my favorite stat. My favorite stat in all of baseball. So yeah. If the Cubs got Correa, that'd be really funny. If I were them, and rooting for their best interest, I would go for Seager. He's just a Cub. He screams Cub to me.
Who was it we thought was going to go to the Cubs? Nolan Arenado.
Nah, I never thought they were going to get Arenado.
I did.
I thought the White Sox had a better chance of getting Arenado because the White Sox had better assets to trade away and they were more willing to take on money. They didn't have an owner crying poor like the Cubs did, even though Tom Ricketts is like a billionaire.
I think a reason why they should have got Arenado is because then he wouldn't be on the Cardinals.
Yeah. I mean, by keeping him away from the Cardinals, it would have been a win for them.
Exactly.
And he's a better defensive third baseman and he's a better hitter than Chris Bryant, but Chris Bryant's so versatile.
Mm-hmm. You got to think about that shit.
Arenado's the best defensive third baseman in baseball. So if he went to the Cubs, that would be a major upgrade in every way.
And a major takeaway from the team that's probably going to finish higher than them in the standings for the next 2 years.
I thought they were going to get Harper. Him and Bryant went to college together. They're friends. They grew up in the Nevada, Las Vegas area together.
Yeah, both from Vegas.
They have the same agent, Scott Boras. Bryce Harper's dog's name is Wrigley. I believe his wife is from Chicago. Bryce Harper, I want to say. I could be wrong.
But I mean, I remember seeing pictures of Bryce Harper in Chicago White Sox stuff. Like everyone wanted him to come to the White Sox.
They had him in town.
Yeah,
The White Sox had Bryce Harper in town for a meeting at the United Center.
I remember that. They had like
You,
welcome Bryce going
you
across
remember
the.
seeing the welcome Bryce sign at the United Center where the
Yeah.
Blackhawks and Bulls play? Yep.
Yeah.
That was a thing. Both Chicago teams went after Bryce Harper. I can't confirm that from people I trust.
That would have been sick.
I thought they were going to get him. What if they had Harper?
Mm-hmm.
Well, because he plays right field, and that's still a position to this day that's missing. Harper would have been a better fit than Machado, who they actually were closer to getting. Jason Hayward stopped the Cubs from going after him. You're paying that guy $180 million, and he plays right field, and you're going to sign Bryce Harper to $300 million. I believe Bryce makes $320 over 10 years. Who is also nominated for MVP, which we'll get to in a bit. Would you go in on a big free agent shortstop? I'm going to tell you why I would really quick. Yes, I think they're going to stink next year. Yes, I think they're not going to stink the year after, but they're also not going to be great. The year after, I think they have a chance to be really good. And so I think signing a big free agent shortstop helps them for two reasons in that scenario. One, you have a good player signed long-term for when you are ready to compete 2.5, 3 years from now. Two, how are you going to market your team next season? With your catcher who only plays 2 out of 3 games? And he's also on an expiring contract, so you might trade him at any point in time. What about Nick Madrigal? You putting his face on your tickets? Nico Horner? Dude can't stay healthy. You putting him on your tickets? No. The Cubs need someone to help sell the marquee network, to help put up billboards around Wrigley Field. See, they set up a rink right outside Wrigley Field.
Yeah, what's that for?
I don't know. We're going to get to something else in a minute here, but I have a feeling it has something to do with that. So, you got to market the team somehow. You got to get people interested. There's got to be something that Cubs fans want to watch. The people who actually go there to watch baseball, there's got to be a player there. Like a good player. And I think Seager is perfect for the Cubs. And I hope they sign him for my beloved, dear Cub fan friends' sake.
Yeah, I pulled up a quick list of the top 5, potential free agents, shortstop free agents this upcoming offseason. We already mentioned Carlos Correa. We mentioned Corey Seager, who you believe that that's who you want them to be in on, right?
If I were a Cubs fan, I would want Seager.
Yeah. I'm probably going to agree with that. He's 28 years old. I think he's the youngest out of all these guys. Or no, Correa's 27, but
Correa's better probably, but he's more expensive.
Yeah. I don't think the gap is that big.
No, it's not.
Another guy who I think would kind of fit in with this team is Trevor Story.
Yep.
I don't think they have a chance to get Javi Baez back.
I wouldn't want him out of this list.
Yeah, and
he's going to be the worst one on this list, I bet. Still good.
And the oldest guy on this list from the Phillies, Freddie Galvis.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. He's 32 years old. I definitely think you'd be going in the wrong direction.
I just was going to say that would be the Cubs going backwards, in my opinion.
Exactly.
Like, you just let Rizzo go for being the same age.
Exactly.
So, I would. Galvis would be last. I'd rather Baez than Galvis.
Mm-hmm.
But in order for the Cubs, I would go Seager, Correa, Story, Baez, Galvis. I don't think they're in the market for Semien. You didn't even say Semien.
Mm-mm.
But Semien is probably like shortstop, second base duo.
Yeah, he might be listed as a second baseman.
Maybe, but he's a shortstop by trade. And the Blue Jays just flipped him to second because of Bo Bichette. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why the White Sox are a perfect fit. Because you played there last year. This is what's going to be the case. So do you think, though, in the end, the Cubs are going to? Or do you think they stay quiet for a year?
No, I think they're going to try to be a little more competitive next year. They got the Field of Dreams game. They don't want. No team wants to be bad. So, I don't know. I actually think they're going to do whatever they can. And I think, them claiming Wade Miley is an indication that, they're going to try to do whatever they can to be better than they were last year. And maybe compete with the Cardinals or the Brewers. Maybe. So.
next Saturday, not this upcoming one, the 20th, Northwestern is going to play Purdue at Wrigley Field. The stadium is already the field is already basically finished at Wrigley. Wrigley Field, a lot of people don't even realize, used to be home for the Chicago Bears. Football has been played on those grounds many, many times. And I think it's pretty cool that Northwestern's going to play Purdue there. I'm certainly going to be tuned into that game. And we brought up the rink. I do think that has something to do with it. It's just another winter-like attraction around Wrigley Field while they try to lure people into this Northwestern home game against Purdue.
Yeah, is that ice? Is it an ice rink or is it like a roller?
Yeah, no, it's ice. I'm pretty sure.
That's pretty cool. Is it public?
I believe so.
Huh. We should look into that. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, that probably would be pretty fun. Seeing college football played on Wrigley Field's turf is going to be awesome. I remember when they had at Guaranteed Rate Field, NIU played Toledo. And it was
Really?
the first ever, I was there. It was the first ever event with the name Guaranteed Rate Field.
You saw a football game at Guaranteed Rate?
Yeah.
I didn't
You
know.
want to see a picture?
Sure.
I'll show you a picture. You
Just
can put this.
Text it to me and I'll put it on here.
Yeah, I'm going to. It was honestly one of the single funnest things I've ever done because for those who know me, know how much I love the Chicago White Sox. They mean about as much to me as any sports team ever. And I also love my NIU football. I've had season tickets for about 10 years now. And, I haven't missed too many home games. I was just there last night for some action. We talked about that. They won. And we just actually passed the 5-year anniversary of this game at Guaranteed Rate Field where the Northern Illinois Huskies played Toledo. Joey's loading the video up to the picture right now, so those who are watching can see on the audio version.
Did you say I'm loading up the picture or the video to the picture?
Maybe I'll put it on Twitter so people who are listening can see. It's definitely one of the cooler things I've ever seen at Guaranteed Rate Field. I mean, during that time, the White Sox stunk. So, of course, being at Guaranteed Rate Field in the cold was something I wasn't used to. So, yeah, there's Guaranteed Rate Field. Those were not our seats, though. We sat right behind the road team's dugout. So we saw the field like a typical gridiron like you would see it on television. But we were walking around the concourse, and that's just a sick picture. Like, you can see how it's clearly Guaranteed Rate Field. You're looking at it from the visitor bullpen right now.
This is the home plate.
Yes.
Behind home plate right here. Damn,
Yep.
That's actually really cool. And that's what Wrigley's going to look like?
Yep. You were invited. I remember you saying no.
Sounds
but
like
5-year-old Joey didn't give a shit about baseball or college football at that point.
5-year-old?
5 years ago old.
Oh, I was going to say, you were 7 when you went to that game?
No, I was probably like 21.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 5 years ago? Is that how much it was? Exactly?
Mm-hmm. Like 5 years ago, the anniversary was like 3 days ago. That's how I was able to pull up that picture so fast. Because it just popped up.
So 5 years ago, what year are we? That was 2000.
It was 2016. The Cubs were the World Series champions. The
Yeah,
White Sox were about to trade Chris Sale for Yohan Moncada and Michael Kopech 1 month later.
The Bruins that was one of the years the Bruins didn't make the playoffs, so I was probably crispy.
It was November.
They probably started off bad.
Yeah, I remember that one year the Bruins missed the playoffs. They got off to a really bad start. They lost to Colorado on opening day, and you were pissed.
They missed the playoffs 15 and 16
by 1 point both times.
Yeah,
and they got McAvoy and DeBrusque out of it. So on to the MLB. I reached out to our friend Robert Murray, and he didn't respond to me. So I got jack shit for you on that front.
that was actually really funny. It's like saying I sent Sidney Crosby a message. He's gonna come on our show. He didn't reply, but
Hopefully Bert can get back to me soon because I want White Sox and Cubs Nuggets. Come on, Robert. I pump your gas. Like, fucking throw me a little
Yeah,
nugget.
come on, Bob.
Nobody calls him Bob. It's all Bert or Robert in our MLB group chat on Slack.
Next time I talk to him, if I ever talk to him again, I'm just gonna start off. Bob, how you doing, Bob?
You're gonna call him. You're gonna talk to him again. That
No,
I do believe.
I'm gonna call him Bob. I'm gonna start something.
The American League MVP race is between Shohei Ohtani, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and Marcus Semien. We are each going to make our picks on who we think is going to win out of all of these awards. You're going to predict. We talked about it earlier because of Semien, but now we're in like the discussion of the trio portion of the show. Who do you think is going to win the American League MVP?
Shohei Ohtani.
Okay, Joey thinks Shohei Ohtani, so I'm circling it in green. And Vinnie thinks Shohei Ohtani, so I'm circling it in red.
I don't know what I think. If I could choose, I'd pick Vlad Guerrero.
Why?
Because I like Vlad Guerrero. I think he single-handedly almost brought the Jays into a playoff spot.
Okay, no, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
They had Marcus Semien. I'll read off Marcus Semien's stats again.
Okay,
Marcus Semien had a 7.3
You don't think if you remove
WAR,
43 home runs from that lineup and all the other amazing things that Vlad did?
How many home runs did Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hit?
I want to say it's 43.
Okay, well, Semien hit 45.
Okay.
He had 102 RBIs, 115 runs scored, and an 873 OPS. Oh, how about Bo Bichette? How about George Springer? How about the Cy Young Award potential winner, Robbie Ray? How about trading for Barrios? Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was on a stacked Toronto
48 home runs.
Okay. He had 3 more than Semien. He was awesome.
He's the best player on the Jays. Don't try to tell me
he is the best player on the Jays.
He is the most valuable player to that team.
But his teammate was also nominated.
That doesn't mean you can't still win it.
No, it doesn't. But
Did Connor McDavid never win the MVP? If Leon is,
I didn't say they can't be nominated or win. I'm saying that you can't claim that he single-handedly brought them to the playoffs because he quite literally also had a teammate nominated for MVP.
Okay, if either one of those guys were not part of that or got taken out of that lineup, they probably wouldn't be as good.
Sure.
But I think Vlad Guerrero more so would affect the team more.
Okay. But he didn't single-handedly take them to the...
Okay, not single-handedly, but if you remove his single hand, the team doesn't do as good. I never said if you...
I believe that about Semien, too.
Okay, that's fine. I think Ohtani's going to win it hands down, though, because not only did he...
You know what's funny? We're arguing even though we agree.
Yeah, I'm not saying...
We're just stupid, dumb idiots. This is why men don't live as long as women, because, like, we're arguing over agreeing.
Yeah. Ohtani's gonna win. This dude fucking not only did just as good as those guys batting, he fucking was their best pitcher. So it's stupid.
It's fucking absurd when you say it, though. I get what you're saying, though. Ohtani's the boring pick because he won the MVP.
He wasn't as good as I don't think he was even as good. He was just under probably as like Vlad Guerrero, maybe even Semien. But he fucking pitches. He's doing another guy's job too.
He had like the same ERA as Wade Miley, who we like just got done praising.
Yeah, he's literally doing 2 people's jobs. Both fucking rather good, better than average. One of them elite.
I saw a question on Twitter. Should he get paid $500 million for 10 years? $250 million for pitching, $250 million for hitting.
I mean, it's hard to argue against that. Like if you were working, let's say you were working in a restaurant and your job was to cook the food. All right. Someone else's job is to do the dishes. Aren't you going to be pissed if you have to cook the food and do the dishes, but you're not going to get a pay raise?
Yes.
It's the same fucking thing. He's pitching.
He's very good at both. I would say he's a very good pitcher. He's an elite hitter.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Yes.
He's a top 10 Cy Young guy. He's a top 5 hitter.
I would say he's an, you know how if you tier things, you got your S tier is like he's probably approaching that S tier of hitting, but he's like I would say he's a lower A tier pitcher. There's a lot of better pitchers than him.
Top 10 pitcher, top 3 hitter.
Yeah, that's fair.
I do think that's fair.
Maybe not even top 10. Every team, a lot of teams have like one guy who's better than him.
Bryce Harper, Juan Soto, Fernando Tatis Jr. for the National League MVP. Who you got?
I mean, we can't spend as much time arguing, so I'm just gonna go ahead and give my pick.
We can argue. I'll talk to you about this shit till 4 in the afternoon. I don't have Devils pregame live until 5.
I'm gonna go. See, I don't have these guys' stats right in front of me, and it's gonna take too long if I pull up every guy's stats. I'm just gonna have to go based off of how I knew they were doing, especially toward the end of the year. And with that being said, Bryce Harper was on a tear. He is the Phillies. Going Bryce Harper.
We agree, my friend.
Damn,
I want to vote for
for
Juan
sure
Soto.
you were gonna say Juan Soto.
I want to go with Juan Soto.
I hope Juan
bad.
Soto wins it.
I kind of do too, but Bryce Harper did almost single-handedly carry the. I mean, JT Realmuto's the best catcher in baseball. He's the second best player on the Phillies, but Bryce Harper quite literally almost did single-handedly. That would be my definition of single-handedly. So Bryce Harper, he's the guy for me. That's it. In the American League Cy Young Award, Robbie Ray, Garrett Cole, Lance Lynn. Who you got?
Why do I have to go first every time?
Because I'm the host of the show and I talk and you respond to what I say.
I'm gonna go with.
I'm not the host of the show. We're both hosts of the show, but I lead the conversation. I don't even want to lead the conversation. You want to lead the conversation?
I'll lead the conversation. I'm gonna go with Garrett Cole.
All right. We have our first disagreement. Our first disagreement comes because Joey picks Garrett Cole of the New York Yankees.
For Pete's sake.
Joey picks Mr. For Pete's sake himself, Kermit the Frog, Garrett Cole. And I pick Robbie Ray, Mr. Tight Pants grunting himself, Robbie Ray of the Toronto Blue Jays, who is another reason you can't claim that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. single-handedly almost led them to the playoffs. In the National League, this is where things get a little dicey. No, not really. It's Corbin Burns, Max Scherzer, or Blake Wheeler.
Max Scherzer.
We agree once again.
Been saying it for a while. Didn't you say Walker Buehler?
I thought Walker Buehler did have a chance. He wasn't nominated. You didn't think he had a chance?
Not over Scherzer, and if you're going to pick one guy from the team, it's going to be Scherzer.
Yeah, I mean, clearly the MLB doesn't subscribe to that same team crap, though, because of the AL MVP. Arozarena, Franco, Garcia for American League Rookie of the Year. Two Rays.
I'm going to go... If I were to take playoffs into consideration, probably go with a Rosarina, but I'm going Franco.
Ooh, Joey's going Franco. That's interesting. Very interesting. Well, that's because you're a Boston Red Sox fan, and he might win the MVP just on numbers against the Red Sox alone. He dominated when he played. Like, he's going to be a thorn up your ass for the next 10 years. You might hate his guts by the next time. By the next time we are doing these type of award conversations, you might hate his guts. You might like him now.
Did he have a grand slam against him?
Mm-hmm. And his first career home run. Yep. I'm going with Garcia. He is my pick. Now, between Carlson, India, and Rogers for the National League Rookie of the Year.
See, now these guys, I want to look up stats.
Okay, I'll give mine. I'll go first on this one. I think Jonathan India is absolutely going to be the nominee or the winner of National League Rookie of the Year. I thought Patrick Wisdom was going to at least be nominated, but maybe they don't like the 30-year-old thing. I don't know what the voting criteria was here. I'm picking Jonathan India out of these three nominees. I would have voted for Patrick Wisdom. I don't care that he's 30. He broke Chris Bryant's rookie home run record. But out of these three, taking Jonathan India.
It's I probably would have voted for Pat Wisdom too. I love Pat Wisdom. He set the rookie home run record for that team. But I'm gonna agree with you.
Taking Jonathan India?
Yeah.
All right, interesting. Manager of the year. Now, this is where things get interesting for me because we talked about Tony La Russa and Alex Cora. The nominees were Dusty Baker of the Houston Astros, Kevin Cash of the Tampa Bay Rays, and why can't I remember Servius's first name of the Seattle Mariners? He's the clear winner for me.
Really?
Yes.
I'm going Baker.
Explain.
I just obviously there was a lot going on with that Astros team, and he got that team focused through, I guess you can call it adversity, even though it's much deserved adversity.
Yeah.
First time with that team playing in front of fans, they heard it every single ballpark. That's not easy, and I think Dusty Baker got that team exactly where he wanted them to.
You know, that's a fair conversation. I don't disagree with you one bit. I would have replaced either Cora or La Russa with Cash. Because the Tampa Bay Rays, like they were just good. Like they're so good. And your argument against La Russa earlier in the show is kind of my argument against the Rays.
Against the Rays?
Yeah. Because like who's not taking the Rays to the postseason? Right?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Like, I don't know. And the Mariners were supposed to be trash.
What?
They were supposed to be one of the worst teams in the league, and they missed the playoffs by one game.
But the Rays had way more young guys. Like, look, they have 2 rookies up for Rookie of the Year. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta tip your cap to the manager on that.
And they lost Glasnow
Mhm.
to Tommy John, and they lost not I almost said Wade Miley. Who's the other Charlie Morton. They lost him for an extended period of time. Or am I not thinking? I'm saying the wrong
Charlie
name.
Morton.
It's not Charlie Morton.
Charlie Morton was on the Braves.
No, yeah, I know. The other, the Rays pitcher who also was hurt for a while. His name's escaping me while we do the show. You know, like when you're doing things live and names escape you, there's nothing you could do about it.
They had 3 rookies going into the playoffs on their starting bump.
Yeah.
They
Rays pitchers.
I don't know. I'm drawing a blank on their names. Like 3 of them were rookies. Yaz or some short
I
name.
know who you're talking. Oh, Shane Baz.
Baz, there you go.
Yeah.
They think about it. They lost they just lost Snell.
Yep.
Like
that's huge.
They had a lot going into the season, a lot of unknowns, and I think he deserves every right, if not win it, to be up there. I completely disagree. It's a complete different argument than the La Russa thing.
That's fair. I have no like argument on that. I mean I do. I think Alex Cora deserved it more than him. For the same reason I'm talking about Cervais as the winner. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Like the fact that the Mariners were supposed to be so bad and they almost made the playoffs. They haven't made the playoffs in 20 years. And they were over 500 for the first time since 2003.
And they almost made the playoffs. Like it literally came down to the weekend.
The Red Sox, and okay, so if the Red Sox aren't in and the Mariners are instead, like, could they go to the ALCS? Could they have upset the Rays? Maybe. I don't know.
No.
A lot of the times, manager of the year is subjective because it goes to one of 2 people. It goes to the team who is either just so good and so dominant that everyone's like, whoa.
That's my NL pick.
Me too. Or it goes to the team like, hey, we thought you were going to suck and you were actually pretty good, so have manager of the year. That's why I'm voting for Cervais.
And that's kind of why I'm voting. We'll transition that right into the NL manager of the year. I'm voting Kapler.
We agree. The San Francisco Giants were supposed to be trash. They were not trash. Instead, they were the best team in the league.
Yeah.
I think
even a team that's going into the, like, let's say you have a team, name a good team that going into next year, they're going to make the playoffs. Name a team.
The White Sox.
Okay, the White Sox. Even if you know you're going to be good, you are not banking on winning 107 baseball games.
Hell no. I'll be shocked if the White Sox win 100 games. I'll be shocked if any team wins 100 games.
Exactly. Like the
At
Rays.
The All-Star break, I think I said on this show that there weren't going to be a single 100-win team. There ended up being 3.
Exactly. So
Vinnie was wrong.
And the fact that the Giants went into that year not necessarily knowing if they were going to be one of the great teams of the season, and they ended up being 107 wins. So that right alone there is coaching. I think that's a clear manager of the year winner right there.
Both of our reasons for picking both of my typical reasons for picking a manager of the year apply to Kapler.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
the team that was just so good. Like when Barry Trotz won it when the Capitals won the President's Trophy. We knew the Capitals were going to be good, but they were just so good that they gave it to him. But like those years where didn't Gallant, he won it with the Vegas Golden Knights. Like, hey, we thought you were going to suck, but you're actually really good. Here's the manager of the year. The same thing applies to Cervase, but both apply to Kapler.
Yeah.
So that wraps up our conversation on all the awards. Almost
Speaking,
all agreement. We
yeah, we
disagree.
only disagreed on
We
like
disagree
two.
on three. We disagree on three. AL Manager of the Year, AL Rookie of the Year, and AL Cy Young. We agree on everything National League. We're both big National League guys.
Yeah. One thing I want to say, we just talked about the Giants. Last week we talked about Buster Posey. And we talked about, his retirement. Maybe you mentioned if he was a Hall of Famer. I think he 100% should be a Hall of Famer. And I have this stat here that he caught 1,900 or 1,093 games in his career. And in those 1,093 games, he only allowed 27 pass balls.
That's banana lands.
That is a mind-boggling stat for Buster Posey.
I think Zach Collins had more than that this season as a backup.
Yeah. Crazy.
It is crazy. Shout out Buster Posey. We're big Buster Posey fans. We talked about him a fair amount on this podcast with all of our NL West conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any other fun MLB stories that you'd like to share with the class?
None really. I mean, it's been relatively quiet and just, the MLB getting the fans voting with this whole MLB thing. A lot of off-season discussion, but I mean, it's been relatively quiet. Only 2 weeks removed from the World Series. Which,
Yep.
Speaking of the World Series, do you see all that stuff about number 44 with the World Series?
Isn't that Henry Aaron's number?
Yeah, did you see like all the stuff? If you don't know off that, I'll just tell you. It's actually another mind-boggling and quite eerie thing of.
I think I did see this actually.
You
Go
probably
ahead.
did. It's weird. So obviously, you just mentioned Hank Aaron was number 44. Okay. When Ronald Acuna got hurt, the Braves record was 44-44. All right, what are the odds, right? Oh, it gets worse. They won 44 games before the All-Star break. After the All-Star break, they won another 44 games. They won the World Series in the 44th week of the year. They played the whole season with 44 displayed on the center field grass. Obviously, Hank Aaron was number 44. They ended up being World Series champs. That's a little bizarre. A lot of 44s going on there.
And they won 4 games in the World Series.
Well, yeah, obviously.
That's funny. I actually really like that stat. That is some eerie stuff. How can you not be romantic about baseball?
Exactly.
We've all seen Moneyball. How could you not be
Moneyball has
romantic?
nothing to do with that stat. That's more angels in the outfield.
Well, both.
Yeah.
So, one storyline I wanted to share, and I want your opinion on it. Scott Boras. We talked about Scott Boras more than any individual player on this show today. He believes that the Braves winning the World Series this year was a major horrible thing for the MLB because they won as a result of other teams tanking. Because they were able to rebuild their outfield at the trade deadline from 4 separate teams that were purposely tanking. Your thoughts?
I mean, doesn't every team acquire other players at the deadline?
Yeah, but
from teams?
the freaking Braves did get 4 players who like made major impacts for them.
Yeah.
Not many teams do that.
Okay, that's just great work from the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, because like if the White Sox would have won the World Series, would Scott Boras have claimed the same thing?
Yeah. Or
Taking advantage that Sox took advantage of the Cubs and Indians who were both tanking.
if another team, was in on those guys and could have offered better or the same or better assets, then they would have got those guys. It's a fair thing. Fair game. That's the
Yeah,
stupidest thing I've ever heard.
couldn't agree more. Scott Boras is a clown. And also my other fun MLB story: the uh, general manager meetings are going on right now. Friend of the program, Robert Murray, fan-sided coworker, is there. I reached out to him, got nothing.
Yeah,
I'm a
you already made
complete
that joke.
muffin.
It's
No,
not funny
you're
anymore.
still laughing. You
I'm
always talk
laughing that
about you always talk about how I'm not funny, yet you laugh at everything I say.
I'm laughing at the fact that you thought it would be a good idea to just say the same thing again.
But I was actually not saying it to be funny either time.
The first time was funny.
Okay, well I wasn't saying it to be funny either time. That's an actual event in life that happened. I'm kind of pissed. He better give me some White Sox and Cubs nuggets. I want to know who each team is signing. I want to know who each team is trading. I got work to do.
I
And
sent
so keep an eye on that. I think the Sox are going to do something huge. I hope.
I sent a message to Connor McDavid today. I'm still waiting on a reply. He's getting ready for the game against the Bruins.
Yeah, we'll see what kind of baseball people were able to get during the offseason. I want Chuck, but we'll see what happens.
You know
He
who's
was-
very active on Instagram and social media, and they just look like they love life. And it would
I wonder
be
if you're thinking of the same person I am. But
it's
go
a
ahead.
player.
Is it a player who made their MLB debut this season?
No,
Okay, who?
he's on the White Sox, and I
Mhm.
just feel like given the right, if you can get him to see the message, and you get him on the right day and the right hour. Liam Hendricks just seems like the nicest guy who's very active on a lot of stuff. He goes on a lot of shows. He loves talking with people. He loves interacting with fans. It's worth a shot.
I'm not above anyone. I'll interview any person you want me to interview, whether it be any player, any agent,
Yeah.
the president of the United States, the former president of the United. I'll interview anyone. I'm above no one.
Yeah. And if all you got to do is go to his Instagram and watch some of his Instagram stories and see that he is the most normal guy, as they all are. And he just seems like a real fun guy.
I would love to. Liam Hendricks would be at the top of the list of. I'm obviously
White
joking. I
Sox.
wouldn't interview anyone. I don't want anyone on this show. I want baseball people on this show. I would love to have Liam Hendricks on this show, probably more than any human being on earth.
Yeah.
Just because he might not be your favorite player, but he's one of your favorite personalities always.
Exactly.
And as Gonzo points out, we should have a commercial break for Joey Does Desserts. If you live in the northwest suburbs of Chicago, you want to head over to Joey Does Desserts on Facebook and try the most delightful, scrumptious, outstanding cheesecake that you could possibly lay your taste buds on during the holiday season. The holiday orders are up. Did I see that pumpkin cheesecake is officially available?
Oh, that pumpkin cheesecake's available, and orders are being placed for Thanksgiving. So if you want to order for Thanksgiving, got to make sure you get it in by Sunday, November 21st. It's gonna be a crazy week of baking. I don't even know if I'm gonna have time to do a show. We'll just
Yeah,
go
I
to
might
the
be
house.
doing that show. I might be doing that show solo.
Yeah, we're gonna be baking cheesecakes out the Wu Wang.
I cannot wait to eat cheesecake. I want to eat cheesecake with Skylar.
Yeah, you guys should have a slice, or you should have a slice on the show. I guess
Oh,
that
I
would
will.
be. I guess that would be because then people might want to order it, but it would be too late. Maybe the week before we'll do a little
Next week.
cheers to a slice of cheesecake. I don't know.
I'm down for that. Tonight, the National Football League will begin week 10. And it's not the best Thursday night
It's
game,
boring. The past few
it-
Thursday night games
it's not
have been boring.
it's half boring. A top
boring.
5 player in the league, in my opinion, is involved in this game. I love Lamar Jackson. I don't care if he's not the best thrower of all time. He's one of the most productive quarterbacks in the league right now. He's top 5. Cannot wait to watch him just slice and dice the Miami Dolphins defense. What say you?
It's boring. Honestly, it's not.
You're boring.
It's
You're
not.
boring.
The only thing that is going to keep me interested to check the score I'm probably not going to watch it. Let's be honest. The Bruins play the Oilers. I'm not missing Connor McDaddy coming to town. Is a lot of times in these primetime games so far this year, they've been crazy, regardless of who's playing, who's the favorite. We saw the Tennessee Titans take down the Buffalo Bills with Derrick Henry had 3 touchdowns. Like,
I think the Titans are better than the Bills now.
not anymore, not without Derrick Henry.
I do.
Hmm.
Titans are so good.
I don't know, not without Derrick Henry. Anyway, that's a conversation for a different show. The
No, it's not.
Thursday night football games have always seemed to be intense and expect the unexpected. So I'm not just going to go ahead and sound like a clown like I have with these past few picks. It should be a good game. And, you want to say that Lamar's just going to run all over the Dolphins and they're going to win 40-16, but you never know.
Oh, I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I don't think you can't predict blowouts in NFL games. I don't care.
Exactly, which is why I think I looked. It's like the Ravens are minus 400.
Yeah,
screw that. Screw that.
No. I have Marquise Brown in the Guillotine League.
I'm rooting for Skyler's fantasy team. I just want to make that clear. I'm not in a league with him, but thanks for always
undefeated. He's undefeated, and Tom Brady's his quarterback.
Well, that's just another reason to keep rooting for Skyler.
Absolutely.
I'm on the Skyler win his fantasy league train. Are you in that league?
No.
Oh, well, go Skyler.
I don't know if I'd want to be in that league because I want Skyler to win.
Even if you were in the league. Even if you were in the league, I'm rooting for Skyler. He's 9-0. That's impressive shit. I'm not even 9-0. I'm 8-1.
Yeah, but if I was in that league, Skyler might not have Tom Brady. You ever think about that? There was some Tom Brady controversy in his fantasy league during and after the draft. So you hate Tom Brady. I hate you. I'm excited for this game. I disagree with you. I cannot wait to watch that as part of my programming tonight. Obviously, the Devils play the New York Islanders. I have Devils pregame live at 5:00. Make sure you tune in for that. I'll post the stream on Twitter and all that at the Let's Go Devils podcast presents it. Me and Sam Wu talking some Devils. Excited for that. Obviously, I will have on the Bruins versus the Oilers. The Oilers to me are must see TV right now. You should be very worried. But I'm rooting for the Bruins because I love my Joey.
If it sounds weird, I'm actually not worried. I think they're going to be able to contain it. Linus Allmark going in net.
Contain, maybe.
Contain.
Shut down, I don't know.
I think the Bruins can score on anyone.
Sure. I'm not saying the Bruins can't win, but I don't know about shutting out McDavid and Draisaitl. One of them will get a point.
Honestly, I'm nervous to play against Koskinen. Mikko Koskinen has been sweet. Mike Smith has been hurt. He just had a big setback in his injury, which sucks. So he actually had to go back to Edmonton, and he's going to remain on the IR for a long time. And Koskinen's been great. They're back up right now. I don't know if you saw the mess he had. I think it was in Detroit. He went to play the puck and totally fucking fanned on it. And
yep, that was 2 nights ago.
And literally let the Red Wings win, essentially.
Yep.
But on the other side, Koskinen, who is playing tonight, he's been really good. So it's hard playing against a hot goalie.
Yep. Do you agree with Gonzo? Go Hawks.
Yeah. Go Hawks tomorrow against Arizona.
Yeah, that should be fun. It's our only game. It's the only game between now and the next Bar Down show.
Yeah.
So what's a surprising arm the Sox should get? I would go for Garrett Richards. I would like to see. He sucked as a starter with the Red Sox, but he really turned it on as a reliever down the stretch for them. So I like John Gray too. I'm biased towards the Section 10 podcast. So I obviously have been hearing good and bad about Garrett Richards all season long, but I think he'd be a good medium leverage piece for the White Sox in the bullpen next season. So we'll see what happens there. I'm excited to watch Ravens tonight. I'm rooting for the Ravens. I need Marquise Brown to come through for me. I'm with Skyler. I hope Gonzo's team stays just as undefeated as Skyler's.
Shout out to anyone who's in first place in their fantasy league. I hope you win it all.
Do you hope I win the Guillotine League?
Are you in first place? Do you have the most points for?
I have the second most points for.
No,
but I have the most money. But I have the most money remaining. which is
Better
arguably more valuable.
start spending some of that money, boy.
I did. I have to go actually go look and see if I won my bids right when the show ends. I'm probably gonna play some video games tonight too. I might
Oh
hop on
yeah.
the Call of Duty train.
Shout out Call of Duty Vanguard. If you're a Call of Duty fan, have been a Call of Duty fan in the past, play some multiplayer on this game. I'm having as much fun with it as I have in a very long time. So, that being said, if you played a lot of, last year's game, Cold War, the year prior, Modern Warfare, it's my only complaint, it's very similar in terms of the menu. It looks identical. But that's Call of Duty now. They've got their formula, they've perfected it. That's what Call of Duty is. So once you get past that, it's pretty much the same, menus and interfaces it has been for Warzone, has been for Modern Warfare, Cold War. The gameplay, for me, I love it. So
I'm gonna turn on. You convinced me. I'm turning on my Xbox right when we're done. I'm gonna get it downloading. So while I'm doing Devil's pregame live, we'll be downloading, and I'll watch the games. I actually might wait to download it till after the games are over, so that it's not super slow, because it'll mess with my feed. So maybe when the Devils are over, I'll do that.
I mean, if you started it now, it probably would be done by 6 for sure.
Maybe that could be.
It would be. It took me like solid 20 minutes. I mean, granted, I run a wired connection with stellar internet, but
Yeah, mine's not wired. It's all wireless. I use Wi-Fi.
yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I'm definitely gonna get it, and I would like to play with you guys. I see in chat that Skylar wants to play. The four of us should play. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I
Oh,
know
we will.
Skylar and Frankie certainly would enjoy each other. So I don't
Yeah.
know. Let's get it done. Playing lots of Warzone before I left. That's Gonzo. Yeah, Warzone's pretty cool. I always liked the battle royale stuff.
Yeah,
I think it's
Warzone's
fun.
great. But I played a lot of Warzone. The second half that Modern Warfare was out and the first half that Cold War was out, I played nothing but Warzone. That was the only Call of Duty I played. And so it's been at least 2 years since I played the traditional multiplayer of Domination, TDM. I've been playing a lot of Kill Confirmed. And like it's just that simplicity of you join a game, you play objectively, you win the game, and I'm over here on the top of the leaderboard every time. Just fun. It just takes me back to the roots.
Very good stuff. I might download NHL 22 as well. I heard it's amazing, and I really want to play Hut. I'm thinking about it a lot. Probably going to get both of those over the next couple weeks and really grind away some video games during the winter, because the weather sucks ass. Got nothing better to do, and I'm excited about it. And he says Warzone is the way. That makes me think of Mando, which makes me think of Disney Plus, which makes me think of the fact that Hawkeye starts next week, which is really fun.
Does it really?
I'm pretty sure. Or 2 weeks.
I don't know.
So,
I feel like I'm behind on Marvel. Usually when there's something Marvel going on, like a show going on, like Loki, Wanda, Falcon, when those shows are going on, I'm like all in on Marvel. Like when I'm not watching one of those shows, I got a Marvel movie on. But I
yeah.
feel like I'm not in Marvel right now. So that'll be nice to get back into Marvel.
Even though you just saw 2 in theaters within the last month.
Yeah. It didn't put me in the Marvel mood. I don't know.
Because they're origin stories, so you haven't seen how they connect to the rest of the MCU yet.
Yeah, that's
But
probably
like
a good point.
when the Eternals and Shang-Chi join,
Ooh, I might actually rewatch Shang-Chi if this is true.
Shang-Chi's on Disney Plus this weekend. Ooh,
Yeah.
I might absolutely watch
I
Shang-Chi this
might
weekend.
rewatch it because I love
Shang-Chi
that
is
movie.
Eternals was okay. It's definitely an origin story, and like so origin stories, they're like setting stuff up. Like I am excited for where Eternals is going. I don't know how you feel about that. Like with what's Jon Snow's character in the MCU?
I forget already.
He's like a swordsman though. And
Yeah,
apparently he's like an anti-hero. Like Venom, where he's like not good but not bad. Like I'm excited for where Eternals is going more than like the actual movie itself. But
you just got me excited because that's when I'll be like, Marvel's the sickest thing is when I see Spider-Man, and especially, then I know spoilers, but if you haven't seen that end credit Venom scene,
yeah.
ooh,
Without any spoilers, I think Kit Harington, aka Jon Snow, aka I can't remember his name in the MCU yet. If he's in like a sword fight with like Falcon defending him or something, or like Bucky. Yeah. Oh yeah.
We'll see.
I think
I
it's going
have
to be
no
really
idea.
cool.
This is this is where I am thankful for the fact that I don't know as much as some of the true Marvel fans, like the people who know the comics, they know what to expect. I'm actually thankful I don't know that because I'm clueless, and when I see it on the screen for the first time, it's brand new to me.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I like reading the comics after.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm just happy I go into everything blind. Like
Yep.
I don't know what to expect because I don't know the original stories of the comics, and that's how I like it. So I'm excited. I have no idea. I have no prediction. I am excited for Star Wars to come back into my life with the Book of Boba Fett, December 29th. I'm probably more excited for that than anything, to be honest. But that's a story for a different day.
Yep. We'll be talking lots of nerdy shit throughout the off season with baseball when things are really kind of dry. We'll still talk baseball. I'm never not talking baseball. But if we need a half hour to kill or something, certainly talk some nerdy stuff, some football. We appreciate everybody for tuning into this show. An hour 45 when there's no games to talk about. I mean, that's just a work of art. An
Yeah,
absolute work of art.
yeah.
So make sure you tune in tonight to all the different sports. Um, tweet along with me at Vinnie Parisi. Tweet along with Joey at Joey Parisi. He'll be watching the Bruins. I'll be watching a variety of different things. If you can, tune in about an hour to the Let's Go Devils podcast pregame show. Devils Game Day Live, we call it. Looking forward to talking about that. If the White Sox do something big, maybe we'll have an emergency South Burbs hitman at some point. Little wink, wink. I'm sure if they were to sign Semien or something big trade happened, I'm sure the boys would get together. Me and you will be back with Frankie Mueller next Wednesday to recap all the things going on in the National Hockey League and hockey in general. And I'm looking forward to it. Got anything before we head on out of here?
No, I think it was a great show.
Absolutely. And as of course, thank you. A special shout out to Chris Gonzalez, Gonzo, Skylar Reese in the chat. Anybody else who may have joined in that I may have not seen. We appreciate you guys. And thank you for listening. Can't wait to talk to you guys next week. And I think I mentioned it before, but make sure you check out all the great programming on the Barroom Network. You got Mike North, the football shows, the basketball shows. Everybody's seeing so much red with the 8-3 Bulls. They just don't lose. They have the funnest road trip of all time. They have their own California road trip coming up where they're going to play the best team in the league, maybe Golden State Warriors, LeBron and the Lakers, Kawhi and the Clippers. I'm going to watch all three of those games. So excited. Make sure you tune in at Joey Parisi, at Vinnie Parisi. Thank you for listening. Thank you.